Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Your Peak Life podcast. We have a special guest today, Tina and Maddie from Achosa Home Warranties. So I'm going to dive right in. Tell us about yourself, how long you've been in the business, why you chose the industry you're in, and any other fun facts about you guys.
You can go first.
No? You can go first.
So I have been in the industry for almost 12 years. And why did I get in the industry? I needed some flexibility. I worked at the association on the peninsula, and I was missing a lot from the kids because they were little, working a 9-to-5 office job. And they had hired somebody new over there, so it was a good time for me to part ways. So came into the industry and started with a different company and then made the switch in 2020.
All right. So what's the last couple of years been like for you guys? Like, just in general, your side of the real estate market is very different than mine, right?
It is.
We train and lead people to represent buyers and sellers. You all educate people on and offer home warranty services. Correct. So how does our business impact yours?
So I would say, so for Madison, and I'll let her speak too, but with me being in the industry before the market change,
right,
things changed, right? So although a lot of companies, warranty companies, lost a lot of business, and I don't want to say lost business like people left, but the warranty conversation kind of went away. And when the market went crazy and people were paying, over asking and guarantees, for appraisals. No inspections. The last thing that people talked about was one additional expense, right? I mean, if you're bringing $25,000 to the table and you're a first-time home buyer, another $600 is like,
Right.
I believe agents used it as a great time to get away from that conversation because of the nightmares of traditional warranty companies, the processes before, right? So if you have them, hey, let's use this as a great reason not to. Personally, I used it as a reason to get back to doing what I love, which is educating, setting the right expectations, building the relationships with the agents so they felt comfortable enough to still connect me with their clients, right? So while traditional warranty companies, their numbers, transactional numbers were going down, mine was going up, which is why I was able to bring Madison on in February this year because we needed it.
Let's roll over to her. Tell us about yourself. How long you've been doing this? And
So I want to say that I've been in the warranty industry for 12 years because
you've been with her the whole time?
I have been with her the whole time. I just was never getting paid for it.
It was the volunteer.
It was the volunteer work program.
She was a great volunteer.
I always joke with agents. I'm like, so you know how your kids complain that they ride around with you to open houses?
Right.
I was the kid riding around with my mom with AC units during the summertime. But it's definitely been a change, like now seeing the sales side of it and actually talking to you guys more and learning more. For a while, I wanted to get my real estate license. And I was like, I totally can do this. And then after like a couple conversations, I was like, there's no way. There's no way at all I could do this.
Well, if you ever change your mind,
oh, God.
you know where to go.
She's not for hire. I gotta keep her.
Recruiting from warranty companies is not on our vision board. So
yeah.
Everything's going to be all right. Well, now that you've both been introduced and we talked a little bit about what you do, I'm just going to speak to our relationship. I've known you since before I opened Iron Valley. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I was getting warranties when you were at the previous company, right?
For sure.
Because at the height of my production, obviously now I'm still in production and people still see like a top producer, but I'm not doing 70, 80 units. Yeah. I'm not, because I'm not chasing, I'm not in the street. So, but I always, when I represented buyers at a high volume, everybody got a warranty. It was like, that was peace of mind for me. If we did a home inspection and we negotiated repairs and you've completed all those items and you got good home insurance, the only next level of protection I can advise you on is a home warranty.
Correct.
And I bought a house when I was young, and you learn what being a homeowner is, and it does cost money, and there is responsibility, right? Crazy. I know, insane.
Really?
You have no, listen, I have sold a house to somebody and then they reach out to us about issues with the property as if they're tenants.
You're like,
I'm
it's
telling
called
you,
home ownership.
it happens even after the whole process and you doing your best to educate them, or even after you get them a warranty, they call you like, what do I do? For years, and you knew, here's Tina's number. And I really enjoy getting the letters in the mail that say, we saved your clients this much money. I think that's awesome. Yeah. Because to me, you say you're a 22-year-old sailor and you just bought your first house. 2 weeks after you buy it, it's the middle of July, HVAC takes a shit.
Yeah.
Do you have $7,000, $10,000? Or
most don't.
Do you want to pay whatever, I don't know what you guys are now because I'm not like on that side per se, but what are they charging for the deductible on a high grade?
Well, so deductible is $100, but I think really going back to that is it's the understanding that getting that home warranty is to give peace of mind,
right,
but it's not designed to be a coverall, right?
Correct.
So as long as clients understand that and why we've excelled, why Achosa has continued to grow year over year, even in a crazy real estate market, is the expectations have been set correctly.
Right.
Time is of money. Most people, if they're given the choice, can you save $5 or is time more important to you? Most people are going to pick the time.
Absolutely.
How quickly can I have my home back up and running?
Right.
Am I going to be sweating like crazy because it's 100 degrees outside?
And don't you all offer that they actually get to vet and pick
Yes.
the technician or the trade, whoever's coming to address the problem?
Correct.
Which is unheard of, right? People's biggest gripe was, oh, you have to use whoever they have approved, and then they come by and it's
hey, we'll put a Band-Aid on it.
Not such a professional experience, or they Band-Aid because they want to make sure they get the call next time, right? So
Correct.
With you guys, it's very different, right?
It
the
is.
The consumer can go look up or seek guidance and then choose.
Yeah, which is cool because as real estate agents, you guys typically have a network of people you guys work with, right?
Absolutely.
Like, so this business, this real estate industry is such a referral based. Mm-hmm. Why not the client call you and say, oh my gosh, Mike, my AC, took the crapper. And you're like, I've got the guy. He's not getting his rates negotiated. We're not ordering any parts or equipment. So now we're really keeping that money local, which is really nice.
Yeah. Pouring back into the community while providing peace of mind.
Correct.
It sounds like a great deal to me. For sure. And even me, it's crazy because the one time, I've bought and sold several properties. The one time I bought a house and didn't get a warranty, my HVAC went out.
Yeah, talk to Kevin Torsha. That
I'm
happened
like,
to him too.
This is crazy because I tell people every time to get a warranty, and the one time I didn't. But that's okay. We live and we learn.
We
right?
live and we learn. That's exactly right. It's exactly right.
But it's all good. So what we typically ask everybody is this podcast isn't just about real estate. It's not just for realtors or real estate agents or salespeople or brokers or what have you. We named it Your Peak Life. Basically, that came up from the training program that we started, right? But it applies to everything. It's not just real estate. It's not just your income. It's not your social status. It's really the overall well-being of your life. So what we like to ask people is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you can both answer this or you can answer together, but not just from a business perspective, but also a personal perspective.
You going first? Go on. You got it.
Yeah, you better have a 5-year plan. You're the youngest one in the room.
She is I know.
I don't know. I hate planning so far ahead. Life throws you so many curveballs all the time. If I sat down and was like, this is where I want to be in 5 years, I would immediately be smacked down by the universe. They'd be like, no, that's not going to happen. But I would like to, business-wise, I want to be $1 million producer. I want to have my own name. Not that I don't love being attached to you. But no, I definitely want to make a name for myself. Our whole goal is to continue her legacy, but also me have a brand of my own. So
let's put it in context, because for you, $1 million agent is different than on our side. So what does that mean in the home warranty world?
That's a whole lot of warranties.
and that's what I'm asking. What does it take to achieve that?
It's probably, I think on average, if you go on the average, it would be about 1,600 warranties in a year.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
What's your best year?
1.2. Well, 1.25 when I left my previous company.
Wow.
She's already hitting that this year.
It took me 6 years. Yeah, it took me 6 years at my previous company to even hit $1 million.
Wow.
And literally, I hit it the last day of the year. I hit the $1 million mark of that 6th year. It took me 14 months here.
Wow.
But I attest that to the product that I have.
The power of the product, yeah.
The power of the product, but my name and the trust that people, because our market was not conducive for
Listen,
warranties.
I'll say this. How many people no longer use your previous company and now use Achosa?
A lot. A lot.
Your personal book of business that you built, a lot of it migrated with you.
Yeah.
I couldn't even entertain the emails from the previous company because they never serviced me. I was like, this is crazy. You're calling me more now than ever, but you were never involved when Tina was answering the bell every time I needed something. Yeah. Or every single one of my agents and every single one of my clients.
Yeah,
So, be loyal, right? So,
Sure.
I push people that have personally performed for me. That's the only people that I co-signed for anyone at our firm to use is people
It's
that
important.
have personally delivered. So
For sure.
I think it's been cool to watch you transition and blossom at the same time.
So you want my 5-year plan? 5 years, 5 years, I would like to be able to not work so hard and watch her take over. I mean, I don't believe that I'm going to retire in 5 years, but at some aspect of it, watching her grow now, seeing what she's doing, in 5 years, I won't have to work as hard. I can sit back.
That is why we have kids.
I can sit back and be on the volunteer work program, probably. No, I was teasing her the other day, and I said, I did have to support you for like 18 years. So if I could I just need you to support me for 18 years. I do want to travel. I've got your brother for 18 years. That's 36 years if I do them separate.
She said, I do want to travel.
Yeah, I mean, like they should fund me, right? 18 years each. That's 36 years. I probably could retire
Go
in a
to
couple years.
retirement, yeah.
I know.
Good to go.
Good to go. They're not on board yet. I haven't. I talked to my son. He's like, no, Mom, it's just not happening. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So what I will say for you is you have a model of what it takes to get to that mark. And if you just reverse engineer her activities without all her mistakes, I'm serious, right?
Yeah,
because you made
absolutely.
mistakes that she's not going to have to make, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think you could hit that goal in 2 years instead of 5 because you're in the environment. Like at your age, to be in the rooms that you're in, you got to take advantage of that. Like, how old are you?
24.
Yeah.
I didn't get that started at 24, so yeah.
By the time you're in your 30s, that's winning season. Like, that would be my only thing is say, that goal 5 years from now, look at what it took for her to reach that, and you could break that down to the activities you have to do over time to get there.
Now, I can say the most interesting part of it all is we've always known that we're two different people, but like sales aspects wise,
Same.
no, not really. Completely different. I want to say I have a little bit more patience because I have a shorter time in the industry. So when people call me and like freaking out, I panic with them. Like I want to make sure they're good.
Right.
She is over next to me and she's just like,
yeah,
just
it's not
take
that
a breath.
serious.
It's fine.
Give me the details.
I mean, and I tell her it's part of it's because she wasn't jaded from the
Right.
previous company.
Right.
She didn't have to go through as many. Holy shit! You like really like
Oh, yeah,
this is what I'm dealing
How many
with.
complaints did you field?
Yes, she doesn't
I'm
get
sure.
that. So
That's great.
she heard me obviously. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
was on the phone and I'm trying to handle it, she wasn't getting that. So I said, "You came in on the nice side. You came on the nice side. You have a lot more patience than I have.
Yeah.
My patience was wore out."
But also, you came in a time where less warranties were actually being purchased, right?
Yes.
So I think that's also an advantage is this coming year, even right now, we're moving more towards that buyer's market. You've probably seen an uptick in orders.
We have.
Let's keep driving that train, right?
Yes.
Because what some people might not know is that sometimes your coverage can prevent a lawsuit, right?
Absolutely.
People don't think about this, but there are things that happen in homes after closings, and then somebody wants to sue somebody.
Yeah.
Well, if you just had a phone number and you could pick the technician and it's only $100, a lot less people getting sued, a lot less people going crazy over money that they got to spend, right? So,
Well, that's what we tell agents too when we talk to them. Like, you guys don't in any way need to be a home warranty expert. I do not. I'm not going to add that to your plate. Just connect your clients with us. That's all we're asking, because you know that if they decide not to go with the warranty, that you've done your job of at least connecting them with somebody.
and you're actually required to educate on the subject. If anybody actually reads the documents provided to you to do your job,
That's
it's-
interesting.
it's a
good.
checkoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Consumer Disclosure Information Form.
Which is interesting because, I talk to some agents and they're like, we just don't even discuss it anymore because they've been such a nightmare. And I'm like, but do you want that call after they close?
Sounds like they need some training, because on the Consumer Disclosure Information Form, which is a required document by the Commonwealth of Virginia,
They have to talk about it.
correct.
You know what our
You
biggest...
don't have to tell them who to use. You don't have to sell them something. You don't have to, but you do have to speak to it because it is a protection, just
For
like
sure.
insurance.
For sure.
So-
Our biggest competition is tradition. Ease, right? So for us, what we're finding is, number one, people stop talking about warranties because of the nightmares. But then now that they're having to talk about them again because the market's changing, what was easy? They're not thinking about what the consumer went through, what the client went through. I got this online ordering thing. I've just used to doing it. And so that's what we're spending our time doing is, hey, there is a better way.
Yeah.
Clients do not have to go through this nightmare that they've been through before.
I love it. And I've always supported, and I'm always a fan of the protection. I mean, if you own an asset you got to make some serious coin to not want a warranty. I'll say that. If you're ready to replace some of those mechanical systems out of pocket,
Sure.
have fun. I've done it. It's not fun. So, but I mean, HVAC, water heater, there's so many different components of different things. And when people are buying a house, they just read a home inspection report, negotiate repairs. They're not really thinking about the fact of that report is actually to give you the recommendations to maintain your home.
I never thought about it like that.
That's what it is. It's a report card of what you're buying.
I always say it's that snapshot in time.
But seriously,
how it was working.
That report doesn't mean the seller owes you anything. It means this is the condition of what you intend to purchase. So now that you have the report card, are you okay with a couple C's and D's and F's, or do you want straight A's? Right? But it's on the consumer to say, well, this is what I would like fixed, and then you go negotiate, and then whatever you settle on is what you settle on. But they should read that report and know that now all of that is their responsibility.
For sure.
And when they go to sell the house, all of those items are going to be inspected, and they should know that that's the standard, right? So everybody has that opportunity, but they don't understand it, and they're not looking at it, or maybe they're not being guided that way.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know if I'm standing at a home inspection debrief, I'm going to speak to things because I'm a homeowner. I have been for a long time. I know what some of these systems are. I know what they do. I know what they don't do. And if I don't know it, I know somebody that knows it because I'm not the contractor, right? So, but I have people for that.
Yeah.
But some people aren't equipped that way. So it's our job to
Guide them.
right.
It's a big purchase.
It is.
Yeah, for sure. People buy cars and get warranties, right?
They do.
So why not a warranty on the house?
They do.
I think it's pretty simple math.
Yeah.
The next question I will ask you both. We talked about a 5-year plan, but I want to know, what is your peak life? Like, what's the vision of your peak life? Meaning, not sales volume, not just a bank account, but what is going to make you happiest or most satisfied in your life? What's that look like to you?
I think for me, I'm kind of getting there. Like, I made some huge changes last year with just focusing on mental, emotional, physical health.
Taking care of yourself.
Taking care of myself. Like, people don't realize when you stop pouring into yourself, it really can affect you in all aspects. I mean, I was almost 40 pounds heavier. Like, so many things I just neglected because I felt like everybody else was more important.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just didn't focus on it. But it just took that one look in the mirror to go, holy crap, who is that? That I said, this is not me. So now that I've made those kinds of changes, and I'm just focusing on more doing traveling, doing things that maybe I couldn't do or didn't do, just to find happiness. And obviously we create it within, right? But if I'm focused on myself, not in a selfish way, I can give more to others. Absolutely. And I think that's huge. For me, that's really been a big game changer for me. So.
I love it.
Can I just copy and paste your answer?
But you don't have weight to lose. You don't have
required. I don't know.
You don't have weight to lose, though. I mean, I think everybody can work on an emotional, right? Even an emotional and a mental clarity. I just think we all have room to grow, right?
Of course.
And again, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yep.
I find that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. Just having happy relationships, I'm guessing. I want to be at a point where I know that I'm making a positive impact on people and not driving myself into the ground doing it. I'm only 24, so I don't fully know what I want my life to look like yet. I mean, it's definitely ever changing. Coming into the industry was a huge change from being in nursing school.
Right.
So I really have no idea.
Have you enjoyed the change?
I have a lot. It's definitely a different culture. Not a lot of people talk about it, but the medical field, oh my gosh, I pray for them every day. They go through a lot. And
Eric's wife's a nurse, so
it's absolutely insane. And when COVID hit and everything happened with me, I was just I can't be pouring into people, like you said. I was still struggling with myself. But the real estate industry, oh my gosh, you guys just took me in. And it was just amazing, just to see how welcoming it was.
Yeah, I think we're all blessed to be in a good geographic location in regards to our industry, right?
For sure.
Super veteran populated, a lot of successful companies, a lot of employment opportunities, a lot of growth and expansion. So we're somewhat isolated from a lot of other places in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means that there's a lot of people that collectively kind of do a majority of the business, right?
Yeah.
Huge attrition factor in our industry. So the only rooms you guys are really in are the producer rooms. So that's the top 20% of the whole industry. So those are going to be the higher quality people, the higher performing people, the more emotionally and socially intelligent people, right? Because
For sure.
they've been through the ups and downs of maintaining life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And life's hard.
It can be. It can
Life
be.
can be very hard.
Absolutely. So something else we've been doing, kind of to end the interview this morning, is I'm always asking people questions and interviewing people. So when people come in and we're going to wrap up, I always give them an opportunity to ask me anything they want on the spot. And you've known me a while, so you might have something good. I don't know.
I don't know.
But we've had some good ones.
Have you had some good ones?
Yeah, a couple people hit me with some doozies.
I mean, I'm just impressed just because I have known you for a long time. So I have kind of seen I feel like I've seen quite a few sides of you in growth, right?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
But I
You
just,
also saw a lot of hardships.
I saw a lot of
And
hardships.
a lot of comebacks.
But it's important. Yeah, I think that's what makes us, right?
Absolutely.
Hardships, as sucky as they are, they really do make us who we are. If you either sink or swim, right? You're either going to go down with it or you're going to be like, this isn't me. I'm going to go back. Yeah. I'm coming back up bigger and better. So I guess for me, I would say I have a good one. What inspired you?
I knew it. I knew it.
You do pour into so many people, not just real estate agents and the industry. You pour into a lot of people in all different facets. What made you decide that this is my time now to get involved at Hurrah?
Whew.
Seriously, because you do.
I knew she was going to bring some heat. So I've always been an advocate for being a realtor versus just a real estate salesperson. Not because both people can't perform the job. That's not the thing here. It's not to say who's better, who's worse. It's just to say that we have options in our industry. Mm-hmm. One of those options is to be a realtor, support your local association, support the state level association, support the national level association. the Association of Realtors is the largest trade association in the United States of America.
Yep.
When we went through COVID, which is when I opened this firm with Eric, we could have very easily never sold a single house and been shut down. The Virginia Association of Realtors went and lobbied for us to be essential personnel. So that association and the people in it are the only reason we could even earn an income while other people could no longer earn an income in the real estate industry. Could you imagine that?
No.
You know, so for me, I started seeing a larger and larger disconnect of younger agents not even knowing the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent or what the Realtor Association even does.
Yeah.
And then you have to break it down further to the Hampton Roads Realtor Association, right, which is your local association. Mm-hmm. And if you're at a firm and your broker is a realtor, you're required to be a realtor. But most agents don't know all the resources available. Yeah. I just did a poll in our company group asking some questions, and the amount of people that just don't know what's available. So as a local association, we have to do a better job of delivering the resources and tools to the younger, upcoming generation. And I think they started that by we did an actual open election this year. There was an election of candidates sent out to all the members, and the people chose the board of directors.
Was that the first time it's been like that?
And I kind of knew how they were going to send it out, like a full ballot. And I felt that over the last few years, I've built a good reputation in the area, and our company is rather large now. And with as many agents as we have and as many houses as we're selling, I felt like now we had a bigger voice and we could actually affect change and make a difference. And several agents at the company got selected to committees. So one of my goals this year was to be more involved in Hurrah. And what better way than a principal broker of one of the top firms to be on the board?
Absolutely.
You know? So that's really my reasoning, but also to create some continuity between all the rumors and all the things that people are saying on social media, and they're just simply wrong. Everybody's talking about these lawsuits and NAR and buyer's agents commission and all these things, and they're freaking out and like exacerbating everything to the 10th degree that's not even been realized yet. Like, there are appeals happening. This is at state level, not at a federal level. This is one case out of how many houses sold. Like, that's just fear-mongering media.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's an election year. Like, the real reason I want to be involved is so I can keep people abreast of, like, shut the fuck up, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am. Yeah. By nature, that's who I am. Could I work on the delivery a little bit? Sure. But I'm also not in that room to be your friend. Yeah. I'm not there for political reasoning. I am there to make the association better for the people that pay for it. That's all I want to do. And I think I'm in the position to do that. So that's why I ran.
That to me is great. I mean, because you're right. There are so many agents that are like, and I hear it.
We got it.
I'm a warranty person, and I hear them going, I just wrote this check to the association. I have no idea what I'm getting for it. And I'm like, that's just lack of education.
So I personally have taken it upon myself to disseminate more information about the association to our agents, to educate them on it. And, you know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and you can do whatever you want. But if I didn't take the opportunity to guide and lead in my position, I would say that would be wrong.
For sure.
Me. So I don't like politics. I don't like election years. I don't like smoke and mirrors or the facade or fakeness that people put on a lot of times in our industry. Sure. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, I know that there's people probably upset that I'm on that board, and that's okay. And I know there's people that are super excited that I'm in that room, and those are the people I'm doing it for. You know,
for sure.
I have no ulterior motive doing that other than, can we connect this association to my people? Because that's really the problem. Is we have over 240. We're closing in on 250 agents, and a lot of them are pretty young. Well, you know, our demographic here, we don't have a lot of 50 and up like some other companies in the area, right? Like, we are the disruptor. We're the new kids on the block, but they all need to know what the previous generation of real estate professionals did for us, laying the foundation of fair housing laws. And, you know, I sent something in the group this morning that's just the list of the government affairs committees, like list of stuff they're working on. And it's like, this stuff is important. Area development, educational facilities, commercial real estate. There's so much more than just the agent buying or selling a house with a client, right?
For sure.
We're talking about community impact, the impact of the people, your living conditions. Like, those are all the things that the Realtor Association actually impacts. And that message is not fully delivered to newly licensed real estate professionals.
It's important.
And I want to close that gap. If I can, cool. If I can't, at least I can say that I tried.
That's exactly right. Awesome.
That's why.
Love it. I love it.
You got one?
I got 2 questions.
Uh-oh.
All right. First one, it's very serious. Take as much time as you need. What is your favorite color?
Orange.
What?
That was fast.
What? We don't like orange.
That's unfortunate. It is my favorite color.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. That's funny.
So reading your story in RP, like, you know, Hampton Roads Real Producers, obviously, and seeing your backstory, why real estate? What made you change from your career in the Navy into this industry, really?
Okay, so something a lot of people might not know, or maybe they do. I don't know who's listening to what. I've been all over the place the last 3 years. So a lot of different interviews, a lot of different podcasts, a lot of different publications. But I think what most people miss is that I was doing this before I left the Navy. I did this in the Navy for 9 years of my career.
Wow.
So almost the whole time I was in the Navy, I was fighting with getting out because I saw my potential in real estate. So I was on ships most of my career, in and out to sea. And there were years where I did 3, 4, 5 million in sales. And I was like, what am I doing here? You know? But I stayed Navy originally because of my previous marriage and supporting a family. And I was good at it. I knew that I could make rank. I knew that I would never be broke, because if you look further in the story in my childhood, something to be said about a check on the 1st of 15th and some benefits. And I was still fighting with, do I leave this behind or do I not? So I re-enlisted for a 6-year clip. And I ended up, I made first class. I made chief first time up. But through that time, that military life has quite a way of weighing on a family. And then toward the end of my career, I went through what some would consider a not so pretty divorce. And through that time, I also had a fight with the Navy, which I won. But I really ended up leaving and going full time because I had a moment of realization after I beat the Navy and I beat, whatever else was happening at the time in relation to my personal life. I made a decision to make myself happy, to fill up my own cup. Because, yes, I was good at the Navy, but, man, I wasn't happy. Yeah. I wasn't. There was always a ceiling. I could never, somebody that moves at my pace. Like, I'm not trying to wait years and years and sit on a totem pole with people that aren't putting in the work that I'm putting in or can't outperform me if I paid them to.
Yeah.
Like, because you could be a pay grade with somebody and you could be performing up here and you're still getting the same paycheck as that person next to you.
Yep.
And the only way to get that pay raise is hopefully that next test you take, you make the cutoff. But for a guy like me, the Navy actually never even sent me to trade school. I never got educated in the job that I chose because I was what's called undesignated. So I chose a highly technical rate. I self-educated myself. I made rank extremely fast, and I realized I can be successful anywhere with this work ethic. So why not go do something that I love, that I want to do, that I always had interest in? Yeah. So while I was in the Navy, Andy and I, y'all have met Andy, we did property management work on the side to make money under the table because we were young sailors. You don't get paid well, okay? I don't know what they're telling people. At least back when I started, unless you're married with 8 to 10 years in, you're not making a whole lot of...
say 8 to 10 kids.
I was always going to.
You're not making a whole lot of coin, It's not... the paycheck's not what people might think it is. And not that it's horrible, but, it's middle class. Well, I don't want middle class.
Yeah.
So I made a decision that for me to live the life I wanted to live, I had to leave the Navy behind and bet on myself. And when I went through my divorce and the Navy situation and all of that, I decided that the best thing for me to do to be around my children and to reach my full potential or reach my peak or live my peak life was that I had to determine my own destiny. I was out to sea for the last time in my career, and I spent a lot of days out to sea. And I read a book, and in that book, there's an exercise for finding your why. And the more I reached and poked and prodded myself, I came to the realization that I just want to be in charge of my own destiny. And when I made that decision, and then I read another book where I realized like everything I've ever done was just me selling something. Any good eval I got in the Navy was just selling my performance. Anytime I won a board or sailed a quarter or sailed a year, it was just my presentation. It was a sale. It was how I walked in the room. It was how my uniform looked. It was the answers to the questions. It was eye contact. Everything was sales.
Hey.
But I always was into real estate. So we did the property management, and then we got into construction, like on people's flips. And then when we did that, we ran into some pretty phenomenal individuals. Andy and I actually ran into some guys named Carl Rogers and Aaron Giorana. So Carl's at Creed. Aaron runs Veterans United Home Loans at Hampton Roads. They're both pretty accomplished individuals in the area. Mm-hmm. Those were the guys that were the segue to real estate for Andy and I. We drew inspiration from seeing Carl roll up to a flip, and we were just asking ourselves, why are we working for $10 an hour under the table? This guy just pulled up in a Beamer, dressed in a fire outfit, talking like a boss to whoever he was talking to about what was happening, and we're just like, where can we get our real estate license?
Sign me up.
And that kind of started it, because before that, I would be like in my den in Norfolk on Lenox Avenue. Andy lived up the street from me, like just watching the old infomercials about back taxes and lien auctions and buying property for pennies on the dollar. Like I was always doing that stuff. But eventually, I decided to part ways with the Navy and just do this. And those are all the reasons why. But what I didn't know any of that, really, until recently, is that my grandfather, my dad's dad, and my dad just passed away from a drug overdose, and I've never had a relationship with my grandfather. I've never met him. Since my father died, my grandfather has been in touch with me. He's 83 years old. He lives in Arizona.
Wow.
He's a retired real estate broker.
Wow. No way.
Writer, speaker, and author. Yeah, looks like the talent skipped a generation. So to answer your question, I think that this is my destiny. I'm living in my purpose. When I made the decision to say I'm going to take my talents to push myself and see what I can do, it's been incredible.
That's awesome, though. And then to hear,
crazy.
and then to
It's not. No, I'll do you one better. I went to a conference back in June to watch Andy get hired as a coach. I then hired a coach. Right after I hired my coach, my father's found dead from a heroin overdose. And then she made a couple challenges to me as far as like what we're doing here. So me going to that coaching event, Andy getting hired as a coach, then me hiring a coach actually spun into the Peak Performance Elite Sales Training, because thankfully our partners backed us and supported us and helped us put all this stuff together. And then that training program cycled into Climb Higher, Reach Your Peak, Your Peak Life podcast. So it just keeps evolving.
how awesome is that?
Yeah, it's nuts. But it's not, because we wake up and we work hard every day.
Yeah.
But we're not done. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
I know that's probably scary for some people, right? They're like, these guys ain't even been open 4 years and look what's going on. Well, there's more coming. And it's about to get crazy.
It's exciting, though.
I know.
Yeah, it's so exciting, though.
It's about to get crazy. But I said all that really to get to the point that the training and the guiding and leading and grooming, that's actually my true talent. If you look at my military career, I always performed at a very high level. the people around me performed at a high level. I just take everything that I did there and I utilize it here. It's the same thing to me. What is your goal? How do we reverse engineer for you to get to that goal? And it doesn't matter what I want for you. It matters what you want for you, because I'm only going to pour into your cup as much as you're pouring into it. So if you tell me you want to do 20 million, I'm going to hold your ass to the fire.
Yeah.
If you tell me you want to do 5 deals, you're going to get 5 deal energy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the idea is that they're here to create their business on their terms, and hopefully reach their peak, whatever that is to them.
Because everybody's is different.
But, you know, the training program and the podcast, shout out to Edgar, who's recording this right now. You know, all of this was done with a team of extremely hardworking people, you know, like
For sure.
There's marketing behind it all. There's branding behind it all. There's legalities and deals behind it all. But to say that from June to right now, we created an entire sales training program, licensed it, got it backed by the #1 coaching company in America, and then also got the sign off from Iron Valley Corporate to be the training program for Iron Valley and in the entire country. Those are just some of the things that I'm talking about like the storm is coming. This is the new wave in real estate here. So
is it safe to say you don't believe in luck? It's hard work. It's effort.
okay. So no. I do believe that there is some luck involved in success. But I believe that you have to prepare so when the opportunity arrives, you can seize it.
Yeah. Okay.
And a perfect example of that is I take chances. I will message a famed celebrity thinking that they're going to get back to me just because like you're a human, right? Like
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really fanboy, but if I have respect for you or appreciate you, I'm going to show some love, right? So I made a comment on one of the top coaches around right now. He was in Virginia Beach the other day, and I follow him on Facebook. So I commented, I was like, Andy and I are going to have to bring him back. As a joke, but like, you know the old saying, all jokes come from somewhere, right?
Sure.
So it was a joke, but I'm like, maybe he'll reply. He seems like the type of guy that's like me, that's going to reply, right? If you look at any of my social stuff, when somebody shows me love, they get a response. Because I want it to be real. I don't want it to
I do
be
that. Yeah.
fake.
For sure.
Well, he commented back. Right. Then his assistant DM'd me and was like, his flight's not till such and such time. Can you meet at the oceanfront at the Marriott at 11:45?
Like,
And I was like, well, hey, fellas, anybody want to go meet Coach Michael Burt? Like, because we're going. And Andy's like, yeah, I'll go. So me, Andy, and Edgar rolled up yesterday, met him, had an hour conversation for free where we just talked and discussed options of enhancing who we are as businessmen. But that doesn't happen without that comment or without clearing the schedule and driving there to meet.
absolutely.
You know, so is luck a thing? Yes. I was lucky to see that post, but it was my decision making and my action that said, let me see if I can connect.
Yeah. That opportunity, taking
And
advantage
then-
of the opportunity.
And then it happened, right? So yes, there's luck, but I believe that your preparation for when that opportunity arises is what actually matters. So the harder you work, the luckier you will get.
It's awesome.
We'll end there. That was pretty solid.
Yeah. That was solid. I love
Awesome.
that.
Well, thanks for coming in today. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.